Monday Night Football, and we've got some basketball action today. It's Monday, November 13th, 2023, and I've got three bets for you today. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as you just try to get to the bag and make some money. So this weekend, we did something new. We dropped a weekend video for you guys. We dropped the college football show. We dropped an NFL best bet video as well. And then we also had our video on Friday. So three videos that we dropped over the last few days for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys want to see some more college football plays, NFL plays, if you like those videos, just drop a comment below. Let me know so this way we can keep them coming. So I'm going to give you guys a quick little recap over the last few days on the channel because I kind of recorded the football videos ahead of time, so I didn't really do a previous video breakdown. So let's break down everything that's been going on the DYF channel over the last 3 days. So on Friday, we swept the board. We went 3-0. Love to see it. Cashed on Tobias Harris points and rebounds. We cashed in on Wemby's rebounds, and then we also cashed on Texas A&M money line. Love to see it. 3-0 there. On Saturday, we had another undefeated day. We went 2-0-1, so we cashed on South Carolina first half spread. We cashed in on our split teaser with Washington. We teased that down, and then we also took the LSU and Florida over, no sweat bet there. We did push on the Penn State teaser, as we did get Penn State plus the points right, but we did push on the total at 39. If you were able to get 38.5, which you should have, which I should have, I'm mad about myself for doing that. I should have done the 6.5 point teaser, or if you waited a little bit, you probably would have gotten that 38.5. So hopefully you guys cashed in on that one. So 2-0-1 on that day. Sunday wasn't our best day in the NFL, but it wasn't too bad. We went 1-2 on the day. We cashed in on Sam Howell pass yards. We hooked on Jared Goff pass attempts. He really should have gotten it if there wasn't for the big plays by the Lions. They had huge plays. I mean, I'm talking about 40 yards here, 30 yards there. I think Dave Montgomery cracked a run for like 80 yards. It's kind of hard to win certain bets when you're not eating up clock or you don't have real possessions, right? So we hooked on that. Tough loss, but I think it was the right read there. We did lose easily on the parlay builder. Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, were no show there, so we did lose there. So 6-2-1 we went over the weekend. You love to see it. Not too bad there. You can see our year-to-date record right here. Absolutely crushing it in the month of November. 21-7-1 in the month of November. That's a 75% hit rate, my friends. 75% hit rate. 4-1 on college basketball. 22-8 on the NBA. So we've been crushing the hardwood. We absolutely love to see it. Football, 8-19-14, still doing pretty good there. Can't be too mad about it. So if I made you some money, man, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel. If I've been putting out some winners that you're thankful for, I'm appreciative of all the support that I've been getting on the new followers on Twitter, all the new subscribers, all the people inside the Discord community. Man, we've been absolutely loving the growth, and trust me, there's a whole lot more coming. So make sure you guys subscribe to all the different channels and profiles, so this way you guys can stay up on all the latest news that's going on in the DYF Bets world. All right, my friends? So let's dive into these first best bets for the day. For my first best bet of the day, I'm going to go to that Monday Night Football matchup. We've got the Bills and the Broncos here. And my first initial lean is to go with the trend. And that's been the 11-1 trend that we've seen over the last 12 Sunday and Monday night games, which is going the under. We saw that yesterday in the Jets and Raiders game. That one cashed in very easily on the under. You can really take that blindly, sprinkle a little bit on it. We've got a total about like 48 today. I think you can just blindly take the under in all honesty, because the unders have just been absolutely printing money so far this year. It's like a 70% hit rate. The prime time under rates, absolutely crazy. But I'm going to go with the player prop in this one, and I bet you guys know where I'm going to go. I'm going Josh Allen over 33.5 pass attempts. Absolutely love this line. -105. I got it at BetMGM. Make sure you shop around. You could play it up to 34.5 if it gets bumped up. All right, so listen, hear me out, okay? This game is either going to be a big blowout for the Bills. I mean, I'm talking about a huge blowout, or the Broncos are going to cover. Those are going to be the two things, right? I don't think the Bills are going to win by 8 or 9 and barely cover the spread. I think it's either a huge blowout or the Broncos are going to cover. And I actually think the Broncos are going to cover. That's my lean. If I had to pick one side, gun to my head, I'm going to take the Broncos plus the points. But I told myself in like week 4 that I'm not losing any more money to Russell Wilson. So I said actually the same thing yesterday to my Discord community when it comes down to the Patriots, because the Patriots been burning me all year. But I took them on a teaser. So luckily the plus the points and the under hit in that early Frankfurt game. But my mindset with the Broncos is they should cover the spread, but I'm not going to personally bet them. And the reason why the Broncos should cover the spread in tonight's game is because the Bills are absolutely in shambles right now. One, they can't string together any type of wins. I mean, that's been the case over the last 6-7 weeks as a whole. I mean, they win one game, they lose one game, win one game, lose one game. So that's tough. Meanwhile, the Broncos, they're winners of 2 straight, right? They beat the Chiefs in their last game, which was pretty shocking. I mean, they won it by multiple possessions on top of that. So it wasn't like it was a last-second field goal. and they're coming off a bye week, so they had some time to prepare for the Bills, had some time to rest up. And the Bills, they need a bye week like yesterday because they are just decimated with injuries, especially on the defensive end. Now, look at all these players for the Bills who are injured. Micah Hyde, he's out. Christian Benford, he's out. Damian Harris, Matt Milano, Tre'Davious White, all of them out, right? Then we've got Jordan Poyer's probable. We've got AJ Klein probable. Stephon Diggs is probable. So we've got a ton of guys on this defense, stars, who are out in this matchup, and we've got people on the offense, stars, who are probable, who might not even play. So what's that going to tell me? That we're going to need a legacy Josh Allen game here today, okay? And you know how Josh Allen likes to be the hero in and of itself, even when he doesn't have to be. He loves to do the absolute most, and I think he understands that if the Bills are going to win this game, which they need to win, because, I mean, it's a very competitive AFC East there with the Dolphins. We saw the Jets. I mean, they barely lost yesterday, but they've been winning games, so they have to keep up that pace there. The Bills are 5-4. They're second in the division, so they have to be able to win this game. And you know what, Josh Allen, I feel like he understands that, and because of that, he's going to come out today and he's going to really force the issue and really try to win this game. And like I said, I think this one's going to be a lot closer than we think it's going to be. Allen has gone over this pass attempts line in 6 of 9 games this year. He's averaging 36 pass attempts a game this season, and over the last 5 games, that number's actually bumped up to over 38 pass attempts. So pretty clear in this lineup, 33.5, pretty easily. Now, Denver, their pass defense is not the best. They're 27th out of 32 in overall passing yards allowed per game, and Buffalo loves to call passing plays. They're top 10 in pass play percentage. So unless it's a blowout like what we saw with Miami hanging 70 on this Denver defense, I'm not afraid that the Bills are going to throw the ball in this matchup. We've seen other teams throw the ball against this Broncos defense. Mahomes threw it for 38 times and 40 times in the 2 matchups against them. We've seen QBs who are not even known for throwing the ball for real, like Jordan Love. He threw it for 31 times, so like right underneath this total. Justin Fields threw it for 35 times, right over this total. So now we got a guy like Josh Allen who's known for throwing the ball, and I feel like he's going to be needed to throw the ball today because it's going to be closer than we think. I like Josh Allen today to get these passing attempts. It's not a really high number. His yards to me is a little bit too high. It's around like 270, his passing yards. I kind of like that, but if you want to go with his yards, I would go with his rushing yards because I think he's going to have to use his legs. He's going to have to run it. And the Broncos, if you just look at the numbers, they have the worst rush defense in the NFL by the numbers. But if you dive into those numbers a little bit deeper, over the past 3 games, they're actually 12th in the NFL in rush defense. They're giving up less than 100 yards per game over the last 3 games. So they've kind of fixed some things there, and I'm sure they addressed that during the bye week as well. So I'd be a little bit hesitant if you're just looking at the numbers off rip and saying, oh yeah, no, Bills are gonna run the ball today. Look at how bad the Broncos run defense has been. I think that number's a little bit deceiving considering what went on in the beginning of the year, and then also that Dolphins game. You got to throw that game out when you're like looking at the numbers just because of how much of an outlier it was. So because of that, I think this is gonna be a close matchup. I lean towards the Broncos plus the points today. You could also go with like a little tease piece here, taking the Broncos like plus 13, 14, taking that under up even more. But I think today is going to be a game where Josh Allen's going to be dependent on pretty heavily, and as long as they have enough possessions and the Bills defense is able to get stops, or even if they're down, I think it's going to force Josh Allen into a lot of passing situations. So give me Josh Allen over 33.5 pass attempts as my first best bet of the day. Now for my second best bet of the day, we're going to go over to the hardwood. I'm going to go to this college basketball slate. Absolutely loving college basketball. Absolutely been crushing it this month in college ball to start the year, and we're just getting started because the holiday tournaments are coming up. There's no time to make better money than the holiday tournaments because we're going to have games literally going from like 10 a.m. all the way through midnight. So it's games all day long, and not just like mid-majors playing at 10 a.m. in schools that you don't know. It's going to be like Tennessee and Ohio State and like teams that you know are going to be playing during the middle of the day during these conference holidays tournaments. So make sure you guys are staying on the outlook for that. But for my college basketball play today, I'm going to go with a team total. Those have been absolutely printing for us. Let's go with Butler team total over 80.5 points. You can play it up to 81.5. I see that on certain books. Minus 125 odds, I got this one at. And Butler takes on East Tennessee State University, otherwise known as ETSU. And this is the second season for Thad Matta at the helm for the Butler Bulldogs, and he's going to have some work for him this season. He's got his work carved out, especially come conference time, because I really don't know if this Butler Bulldogs team has the pieces necessarily to make a run into the tournament, but hey, you never know. It's college basketball. If you get hot at the right time, you never know what happened. But I like the value that we're getting here on Butler in this matchup because Butler's looked pretty good over their first few games, and overall, when you look at the strength of the opponent with ETSU, they're not that really good of a team in my personal opinion, and I think this total is just a little bit too low here. Now, ETSU, if you don't know about that school, it's a small school in Johnson City, Tennessee. They play in the SoCon Conference, so a mid-major there. Sometimes they're competitive in the SoCon, sometimes they're in the bottom barrel half of the SoCon. So it's like really dependent on the year if they're good or bad. This year is probably like a middle-of-the-road year for them. But if you look at the first two games that ETSU has played this year, they played a non-D1 opponent, which they won pretty easily. But then they went to Elon in their last game, which is a very weak D1 school. Like Elon, they're ranked like 340 on KenPom, 330 in KenPom out of like 360 schools. So they're near the bottom of all D1 schools, and they lost that game 79-76. So again, the total for this game is 80.5 for Butler. Now, if you look at Butler, they played two mid-major schools to start off the year. One to Eastern Michigan. They won that game 94-55. No sweat, blowout bet there. Then they played Southeastern Missouri State. They won that game 91-56. So they've gone over this total easily in first of their two games against mid-major schools, against schools that kind of compare very easily to ETSU, and they're at home in this game as well. That's why I love this team total. I just think it's too low. A team that's dropped 90 points in the first two games at home, I think they could do it again today. And the thing that I really love about when you look at these numbers is Butler's had a very balanced offense in these first two matchups. They're shooting a good amount of threes, and they're getting to the free throw line alongside the other parts of the offense as well. If you look at their numbers, right, they shot 57% from the field against Eastern Michigan, 27% from three, but they shot 19 free throws in that matchup. So they shot 22 three-pointers against Eastern Michigan, 19 free throws. So that's a good balance there. And then now if you look at their Southeast Missouri State, right, they didn't shoot the ball all that particularly well from three-point land, 9 for 25, but good amount of volume, 36%, but they shot 34 free throws in that matchup. So they understood, hey, this is a matchup that we need to get to the free throw line. We need to drive. We need to get fouls. They've shot 48% in the field from that in that Southeast Missouri State game, 57% from the field in that Eastern Michigan game. So obviously some regression is due in terms of, I mean, if you're shooting the ball over 50% every game, then you're going to be killing every opponent. So some regressions do, but this ETSU side, they haven't really shown that they're strong defensively. Again, you gave up 79 points to Elon, bro, and they gave up like 50-60 points to a non-D1 school. So because of that, I think Butler has the advantage here, not only in size and speed, but one thing they've also been doing pretty well is they've been playing strong defense. They forced 18 turnovers in one game. They forced 16 turnovers in the other game. They've held both of their opponents to under 30% shooting. Eastern Michigan shot 32%. Southeast Missouri State shot 29%. Okay, so because of that, I think Butler right now is saying like, hey, we need to win these games that matter at the beginning of the season, because we might not have the talent coming down the stretch to win some of these other matchups. And when to the committee, every win matters. Their next game is against Michigan State. So guess what? They need to win this matchup, and they might be looking ahead to that matchup, but I think this is a good tune-up matchup for that Michigan State matchup. Going that Michigan State matchup with a lot of energy, with a lot of strength, winning all your last three games by double digits, by putting up 80-90 points in each one of those games. That's the type of confidence that you want to have when you're going against a team like Michigan State. So I think Butler's going to handle business today. The spread's around like 16. I do like that as well, but I'm just going to go with the team total because that's just been working for us. They've gone over pretty easily in both of these games, and then ETSU has not showed us anything defensively this year that says that they should go under. So as long as Butler's hitting shots and they're getting out in transition and running the ball, which we've seen from other thought matter teams, then Butler should go over this team total here. So give me Butler team total over 80.5 points. Again, you can play it up to about 82 there as my second best bet of the day. Now for my third and final best bet of the day, we're going to stay in the college basketball slate, and I'm going to go St. John's on the money line, -135. We've got this matchup between St. John's and Michigan at the Garden. It's going to be a rockin' environment there. Actually, boots might be on the ground. Might be on the ground to watch this Michigan and St. John's game in the Garden, because I think it's going to be an absolutely electric atmosphere. We cashed in on St. John's earlier last week when we took their team total. Let's do it again. But I'm going to give you this caveat, right? It's -135. The spread's -2.5. I think it bumped down to -2. It's going to move throughout the day, right? It opened up with Michigan as the favorite. Now the line has flipped to St. John's. What does that tell me? A lot of sharp money is coming on St. John's. A lot of people are on the St. John's side. I'm on the St. John's side. I agree. They're the better team. In my personal opinion, I mean, it's still early in the season. I might be biased. I'm going to give you a little breakdown here. But what I will say is take it live. you can get a much better value live. I guarantee you, if you have the time to watch the game, there's going to be an opportunity to get St. John's at plus the points, maybe plus 2.5, maybe plus 1.5, but you can get them at plus the points, or you can get them at plus money line value. Now, minus 135 money line value is not terrible. Don't be cheap. Don't be stingy. Don't be afraid to spend the money if you know you're not going to have the ability to watch it live. But I'm telling you, you're going to have the ability to grab a better number live. But I really like this St. John's team, and I might be biased, but on paper, this team is really, really solid. I'm not going to give you all the breakdown like I gave you last time with all the players and the transfers and all the guys that they have. But like I mentioned, they have 3 guys on their team that led their teams in scoring last season, right? All of those guys now back, and we saw how that offense looked in game 1. Man, they have an all Ivy League guy coming off of the bench. They literally, their 6th man can give you 20 points. Like, that's how stacked this St. John's team is. I was reading a report earlier about Rick Pitino and how he's like obsessed with getting the St. John's program back to a great point, and he wants to get back to the Final Four in the tournament. And I don't think that's going to happen right away. It might take a few years, but I really think this Rick Pitino team is going to be one that's exciting to watch not only this year, but years to come in the future. And even though St. John's didn't cover that first game against Stony Brook, they certainly put up a lot of points, and we know that this team can score the ball. Now, on the other side, Michigan is 2-0 in the year. They won their first game against UNC Asheville 99-74. Then they won their second game against Youngstown State 92-62. So 2 easy wins. I think they covered on one of the 2 games, but terrible opponent, in all honesty. I mean, low, mid-major schools. Now this is their true test of the year against St. John's, and this game is on the road. Now, this is not St. John's home stadium, but it might as well be. The Garden for St. John's is an absolutely electric environment. Sometimes more fans show up to the St. John's games than they do for the Knicks games, when the Knicks were just absolutely terrible. So I think that this Garden is going to be a true road environment for this Michigan team today. And truthfully, I think this is going to be a season of figuring it out for Michigan, especially in that tough Big Ten conference. Because this is the thing, Michigan coming into the year, they have to find their identity, because they lost Caleb Love. Caleb Love was supposed to transfer from North Carolina to Michigan, but his credits wouldn't transfer. So that's why he went to Arizona. And we saw what he did against Duke last week. I called out Arizona to win that game in our Discord community. If you're not inside the group, click the link in the bio and join our group, free to join. I called that play out. I gave you guys a free play to take Arizona plus the points. I told you to take their team total, and I told you that, hey, the opportunity to grab them live is going to be there. They won that game outright, and they were 5.5-point underdogs to the Blue Devils. Caleb Love was one of the main reasons because of that. But also, they lost their best player, Hunter Dickinson. So coming into the year, they thought they were going to have Caleb Love. They thought they were going to have Hunter Dickinson alongside their recruiting class and a few other transfers. But Hunter Dickinson left, and he went to Kansas. So now you lose basically your whole foundation of what your team was going to be built on. I think it's going to take some time for this team to be able to rebound from that and find their identity. They're going to win the games they're supposed to win like they did in the last few games, but I feel like today is going to be their first real test, and moving forward is going to be the other test. Now, I'm not giving you a bunch of stats. This is just more of a personal opinion play today. I don't typically give out plays like that. I normally give you guys W-sell jobs with numbers, data, statistics behind it. Can't do that because there's a lot of question marks surrounding both these teams and how they're going to look, but I really liked how St. John's looked in that first game. I like how their offense looked. They have the better coaching and Rick Pitino. I think this team is for real this year. Now, come Big East Conference play is when the real test is going to be defined, but I like St. John's on the money line at home at the Garden, and an amazing atmosphere to get this win against this Michigan team. And so give me St. John's, grab it live, grab it pregame if you want to as well, but I think St. John's grabs the W today. So St. John's money line is the third and final best bet of the day. And that's it for me today, my friends. 3 bets, 3 winners for you on this Monday night slate. We've got Josh Allen in the Monday night football game. Go take his pass attempts over 33.5. Then we're going to take Butler's team total over 80.5 as our second best bet. And then we're going to stay on the hardwood, and we're going to go with St. John's on the money line. Grab it live at better value at minus 135. Ain't too bad there as well. 3 best bets, 3 winners for you guys on Monday. And as always, drop a comment. Let me know if I've been making you some money. Drop a like on the video. I greatly appreciate the support as always, and dictate your fate. Get to that cheddar, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later, guys.